Did you hire a freelancer or a contractor last year? And did you pay them by either cash, check, or electronic payment? If you did, you might owe the IRS a form this year. And I'm going to tell you, if you miss it, the penalties are not pretty. Hey everyone, I'm Jamie Trull, CPA and financial educator, and here on this channel, I give you all the information you need to stay informed, organized, and profitable in your business finances, so please make sure to like and subscribe. Now, today I want to talk about one of the most overlooked requirements for small business owners and for those who are self-employed or have side hustles. And that is filing 1099s for any contractors or freelancers that you've hired to do work for you. And this can get a little bit confusing because you might yourself be a 1099 contractor receiving a 1099 and also have to send 1099s to your contractors or freelancers that you've hired. And because of that, a lot of people don't even realize that this is required. And the unfortunate thing that happens then is maybe they get audited later on in time, and that's when you realize that, oh, I was supposed to be sending these this whole time, and now I've racked up some pretty significant penalties. So in this video, we're going to cover a few things. Who needs to file a 1099? What counts as a contractor and what doesn't? The $600 rule and why it matters. What forms you need to get from your contractors so that you can send your 1099s, and the best way to actually facilitate this and get the forms you need and send the forms you need in a timely and cost-effective way. All right, so let's start. We're going to break it down simply. Who needs to file a 1099? Now, for payments made in 2025, if you paid more than $600 total to a specific contractor or freelancer for services that they provided to your business, we're not talking about products, and we're not talking about personal services like if they were a nanny, but if they actually provided services to your business, you may need to file a 1099 NEC. That's 1099 NEC, which stands for non-employee compensation. So this could include contractors you hired like freelancers, designers, editors, maybe even accountants, virtual assistants, lawyers, or any kind of consultant. Again, we're really focused on those who provided actual services to you. If you purchased a product from a company, even if it was a digital product, it likely would not fall into this category. Now, the key here though is not just how much you paid, but how you paid. So now in this day and age, there are a lot of different options to be able to pay people. And so if you paid them via credit card or debit card, you don't have to worry about this. So if they were able to accept payment in that way, electronic payment, which a lot of my contractors, when I hire them, they have their own businesses and they invoice me and I can pay via credit card because they use some kind of payment processor. Well, that payment processor is who's going to send their 1099 to them. So I don't have to. And in fact, if I did send a 1099 to them, even though I paid via credit card, they could end up getting essentially double 1099s. And we don't want that to happen. However, if you paid via cash or check, you will have to send that 1099 to them directly. Now, where it gets confusing, obviously, is the middle ground, right? We are in the day and age where there are a lot of kind of middle ground ways to be able to facilitate sending money from one person to another. So we're talking about things like PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, which unfortunately are not all the same. Now, let's start with talking about third-party payment processors, which include PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Now, because those are actual third-party payment processors, they're actually the ones who are responsible for sending the 1099s, similar to if you'd paid via credit card. Now, there actually are some exceptions here, though. Just because you paid through, let's say, PayPal or Venmo, it doesn't mean that you don't need to send a 1099. And that's because Venmo and PayPal are only going to send 1099s if they know that transactions were for business purposes. So if you're sending that money to a business PayPal or Venmo account, that will automatically mean that they will handle the 1099 processing. However, if you are sending it to a personal account and not checking that it is for goods or services, it will not be aware that that is actually a business transaction, and therefore they will not send the 1099 which means you have to. Now, in general, I do not recommend paying for goods and services by using the friend to friend on something like Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. In part due to this, but also in part just because it doesn't protect you then as the consumer. When you check that box, it actually protects you as the consumer. You can actually reach out and get refunds. But if you don't do that, if you're paying peer-to-peer, you do not get that benefit. And real quick here, as an aside, if you're the one that is receiving business payments to a personal PayPal and having people mark them friends and family, I highly recommend not doing this, not just for IRS purposes, but also because it doesn't look great to consumers. It feels like we're being asked to do something that isn't really ethical. So just don't ask that of the people buying your goods or services. And that is going to help keep everybody on the up and up when it comes to these IRS requirements. Now, before we move on, I want to talk about one other really popular method for making payment, and that is Zelle. And you might think that it would fall in the same category as something like PayPal or Venmo, but unfortunately, it does not. And that's because Zelle has argued that they are not a third-party payment processor. They are really just facilitating bank-to-bank payments, and therefore they should not be responsible for those 1099 requirements, which again means that if you use Zelle to pay anyone, pay contractors, you are then responsible for sending those 1099s. Now, I'll admit with all of this, I am definitely simplifying because there are a million different ways to pay people. And so I've really boiled it down to the most common ways. However, again, with the world that we live in today in 2026, this is actually a lot more complicated. So especially if you are a pro and you work with clients, you might want to dive a little bit deeper. So if you are a financial pro watching this and you want to make sure that you understand all the 1099 rules, I'm just going to go ahead and give a quick shout out to my friend Jennifer Diamond, who has done an amazing job of creating a platform just for this. So if you go to 1099problems.io, she has done tons and tons of research for basically any type of payment and will tell you what those requirements are. So again, if you are someone that advises on 1099s or files them on behalf of your clients, definitely check out that resource because she's done an amazing job of compiling all the information that you would need. Now let's move on and talk numbers. The number for 2025 that you need to remember is that $600. If you paid a contractor or freelancer $600 or more in total over the entire year of 2025, that's when we would be talking about sending a 1099. However, that number is changing because of the One Big Beautiful Bill. That amount is going up to $2,000 starting for payments made in 2026. So if you are watching this in 2026 or later, just know that the rules are generally the same. However, it's the threshold that has changed and gone up to $2,000. So what's the deadline for filing a 1099? Well, it's January 31st. So depending on when you're watching this, you might need to hurry up and get this on file. Thankfully, it doesn't take a whole long time to do. I'll give you some of those resources at the end. Now let's talk about what are the penalties if I miss the filing deadline. All right, well, here is the unfortunate part of this. For each form you miss, even if it's by less than 30 days, it's a $60 fee. And that can go all the way up to a max of $310 per form if you wait even longer. And there's even a different bucket where if you intentionally neglect to file them, which I'm not sure how exactly they prove that, but if it is a willful decision and not an accident, it would be $630 per form. So if you've missed the deadline, it's okay, but just go ahead and get them on file as soon as you can. The nice thing is that if you can show reasonable cause for why they were late, maybe this was your first year in business and you didn't realize you had to do it, then often the IRS will actually waive the penalties. Or you can not file them and hope the issue goes away. But remember, if you ever are audited in the future, they can go back multiple years and assess fines for any missed 1099s. Now, we've been talking a lot about 1099s, but what does that actually mean? That is an IRS form that you would be sending to these contractors and filing with the IRS. This helps tell the IRS that, yes, I paid these people and they should be reporting this income. And that filing is due January 31st, like I previously mentioned. However, there's another form you need to be aware of, and that is a form that I typically recommend going ahead and collecting whenever you're first hiring a freelancer, because that form is going to give you the information you need to even be able to issue that 1099 later. And that form is the IRS W-9 form. So that form is going to collect information like their EIN or social security number that you're going to need in order to be able to file that 1099 by January 31st. It's also going to tell you what type of entity they are, because the great thing is there are some exceptions. For example, if the person that did work with you actually has a S corporation or C corporation, then you don't actually have to send a 1099 at all. Unless they're a lawyer, for whatever reason, the IRS still wants you to send it to them if they're a lawyer. So these W-9s will give you all the information that you need to know if, number one, you need to send the 1099, and number two, where to send it. Now, you don't need to be filing the W-9 with anyone. Those are just things that you should be getting and keeping on file, again, to help you when it comes 1099 season. Now, if you're hearing all of this for the first time and thinking, how in the world am I supposed to do all of this? I don't have these W-9s. What am I supposed to do? Well, I have some resources for you. So the first thing that I would do is check your accounting software. So if you're using something like QuickBooks Online or Xero to do your bookkeeping for you, they probably have a built-in functionality where you can actually send out W-9s to collect that information and send and file those 1099s. Now, it's often an additional cost, but it's really just a couple of bucks per form, and it's probably worth it so that you don't have to go download forms from the IRS website and figure out how to send them and receive them and all of that good stuff. And if you're not using an accounting software, that's okay too. There are specific platforms that you can use just to do this process for you. I would recommend going to jamietrull.com/1099. That's where I have some of my favorite resources that you can use for this process. And if you're wanting to dive deeper into the changes that came with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, check out this video next where I go into all the nitty-gritty. And the bottom line is 1099s are kind of an annoying compliance thing that we need to do. And if you're at that stage in business where you can't necessarily hire all of this out to a bookkeeper or accountant, I got you. I've got so many resources here on this YouTube channel to help you DIY your finances until you get to such a time where you can afford someone to do it all for you. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, I also get that there's a lot to remember as a business owner and keep straight. So if you want some help with that, make sure to watch this video next where I go through all the things you need to do to stay organized this year with your business finances. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.